Hi, boys and girls. Thank you for joining me for another Miss Foley story time. Today I thought I would change it up a little bit and take use of this beautiful sunny day. I thought we could read a story together outside today. Sometimes I love doing my work outside. I feel a little cooped up inside, so I'll just come and sit in the deck and do my work outside, and it makes me feel happy. I hope it makes you feel happy too. Today I have a story that I think many of you are going to have a good connection to, especially if you have a sandbox in your yard, or maybe you've gone to the beach, so you might have a connection to the story that way. Are you thinking what the story could be? Drum roll, please. The story is The Sandcastle Contest by Robert Munsch, illustrated by Michael Marchenko, and published by Scholastic. So get a comfy spot. This is one of my favorites. The Sandcastle Contest. Matthew's father stood in the driveway and said, "I think we are all ready to go. Let's make sure we have everything here. Do we have bicycles? Yes. Do we have the food? Yes. Do we have the boat? Yes. Do we have everything?" "No," yelled Matthew. "No," said his dad. "No," said Matthew, "we don't have a dog." "A dog," said his dad. "We don't even own a dog." "I know," said Matthew. "Now would be a good time to get a dog." Ooh, this is a very busy picture. They're bringing lots of things. Kind of reminds me of when my family packs up to go somewhere. We need a lot of things. "No dog," said his dad. "Now, do we have everything?" "No," yelled Matthew, "we don't have my sandbox." "Matthew," said his mom, "we can't bring the sandbox. But the first place we camp will have a nice beach, and you will have lots of sand to play with." "Well," said Matthew, "okay." I think this picture is going to make you smile. It's a pretty funny picture. They do have lots of things. Wow, wow. So they drove and drove and drove and drove and drove until they came to a place to camp. Matthew jumped out of the van and ran to the beach. He came to a girl making a small sandcastle and a big sand dog. She said, "Hi, my name is Kalita, and I'm going to win the Sandcastle Contest." "Wow," said Matthew, "I want to build a sandcastle too. What can I win?" "You can win a bathtub full of ice cream," said Kalita. "All right," said Matthew. I would love a bathtub full of ice cream. It would go very nicely with today's sunny day. So Matthew made a house with doors and windows and a roof. He dug out the inside of the house so it had rooms just like a real house. He made sand tables and chairs and beds and a TV that had a sand show on it. Wow, wow, look at that. He made lots of things out of sand. When Matthew was almost done, Kalita came over to look at his house, and she had her sand dog on a leash. "Nice sand house," said Kalita. "Really, really nice sand dog," said Matthew. A judge came by and said, "Get this house out of here. Who put this house on the beach?" "No, this is my sand house," said Matthew. "I made it for the sand contest." "Ha!" said the judge. "I know a real house when I see one, and there are no real houses allowed on the beach." Oh, it certainly does look like a real house. Ooh, I just had another connection. I know in Coburg they have a big sandcastle contest in the summer, and there are some pretty amazing sandcastles there that look very real. So then he went inside and sat in a sand chair and watched a sand show on TV. Another judge came by and said, "Get this house out of here. Who put this house on the beach?" "This is my sand house," said Matthew. "I made it for the sand contest." "Ha!" said the judge. I know a real house when I see one, and there are no real houses allowed on the beach. Oh, look at his face. He is looking very frustrated. Nobody's listening to him. She went into the bedroom and looked at the sand bed. She went into the kitchen and opened the refrigerator and looked at the sand apples and the sand celery and the sand cartons of milk. And then she said, "Little boy, you've got to get this house off the beach." "This is my sand house," said Matthew, "and I'm going to prove it." "Ha!" said the judge. I wonder how he's going to prove it. So Matthew went outside and kicked the house right beside the door. Oh my. It all turned back into an enormous pile of sand and fell on the judges. "Help!" yelled the judges, and everyone came running and dug them out. Oh my. When the judges were finally out from under the sand, they yelled, "Matthew wins! His sand house was so good, we thought it was a real house." "Matthew wins," everyone yelled, and they gave him a bathtub full of ice cream. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Matthew started eating the ice cream, and he said to Kalita, "Want to help me eat this?" "Yes," said Kalita. And while they were eating the ice cream, Matthew said, "How come you didn't tell everybody that your dog is sand? I bet you would have won with a sand dog." Oh, wow, look at all that ice cream. Yum, yum, yum. "Well," said Kalita, "this is Sandy, my sand dog, and I'm going to take him camping and feed him ice cream every day, and he is going to be my pet, and I am never going to turn him back to sand." "Wow," said Matthew. "I wish I had thought of that. Can you show me how to make one?" "No problem," said Kalita. And Matthew's mom and dad were so happy with Matthew's amazing sand dog that they decided to take it camping. I like that last page. That's a pretty funny page. Well, that's it. That's the end of the story. Thank you, boys and girls. Get your 5 fingers out. Let's do our 5-finger retell. I think we've made it all the way to the pinky finger. So the thumb is our setting. Where did the story take place? I think it took place in 2 places, didn't it? It took place in the beginning at Matthew's house. And then where did it take place? And who are the characters in the story? We know there was Matthew, but who else was in the story? Think about that. And the middle finger is the problem. There was a problem in the story. Do you remember what that problem was? So nobody would believe Matthew that it was a real sand house. And he was getting very frustrated. And then what was the solution? How did he solve that? He was so frustrated that nobody would believe him that it was a real sand house. And how did he solve that? And then our pinky finger is the events. What happened? Let's think about that for a minute. What happened in the beginning of the story, in the middle, and at the end? So in the beginning of the story, I know they were getting ready at Matthew's house and they were packing all those things up. In the middle, what happened next? The middle was where the problem happened. And then what happened at the end of the story? How did they solve that problem? So think about that, and maybe you can share that with someone in your family. What happened at the beginning of the story? What happened in the middle? And what happened at the end of the story? Okay, well, I hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful sunshine, and it's so nice to read stories with you this way. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.